goodness. Oh, wow! In your life, have you seen anything like that?
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Cut Line Golfing Podcast brought to you by the TAB. My name is Karl Tiley, joined in studio today by my good mate Patrick Jones. Pat, how you going, mate?
Very well, Karl. Open Championship week, St Andrews. What more could you want, really? That's all there is to say.
Not a lie. I tell you what more you can want, the big cat winning it, but we'll get to that shortly. Joined by a very special guest today, no Paul Moate. He caught me off guard yesterday. He declined the meeting invitation, said he wasn't working, and it really rattled me, but we've pulled in someone much better, much more experienced. Luke Robinson from NewsHub. Luke, how's it going, mate?
It's good. It's an absolute honour and a privilege to be on here today.
I know you're an absolute golf sicko, so I'm expecting good things today.
We'll see what we can do.
Boys, I just want to start. We'll have a quick look back at last week in sort of the world of golf. It's been a few weeks since we've done the Cut Line, Patrick. I think the US Open was our last event. We're big event players, I guess you could say now. But as I said, we'll look back at last week's Scottish Open. Xander wins. Did you watch any of it?
Not a lot. I have to sacrifice a lot of sleep this weekend just because I'm planning on watching most of the Open. So sort of it was a tactical decision. I saw a decent amount Saturday and Sunday, but not sort of once the leaders got going because that was sort of middle of the night sort of stuff.
Yeah. What about yourself, Luke? I know you're, as I said, an absolute sicko for the game, so I presume you watched it all.
Yeah, some of my favourite tournaments, but also horrendous for my ability to sleep this time of year. I watched the majority of the first, third, and fourth rounds. Yeah, it was an interesting tournament. Not how I expected it to go, but in the end, one of the hottest players in the world right now won it.
It's a perfect segue. 3 wins and as many starts, if you count the JP McManus. What's it called?
The Pro-Am.
The Pro-Am for Xander. Is he an elite golfer now, Patrick?
I think he's always an elite golfer.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, there are the levels of elite. I'm not sure he's second best golfer in the world, which the odds for the Open are suggesting. But yeah, he's certainly. I mean, he's in that select category, right? He's always going to be there or thereabouts. The sort of Ryder Cup level players. If that's probably a good way to group it. If you're looking at the US guys in particular. Yeah,
Luke. I guess Xander. I know you're a big fan. He's been sort of lumped as a what's the right word here? Like not a has-been or a can't do it, but he's always been in that mold of what if, nearly there.
Yeah, falls at the last hurdle sort of thing.
Yeah. What do you make of his current form?
Personally, I'm almost heartbroken by his win at the Scottish Open because it means that he's probably not going to win this week. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I've been hot on Xander for a while. Super happy for him, but I think now to sort of jump into that next echelon of golfers, he does need to take it to the next step and go on and win a major. But certainly his form in the last 6 or so months has been pretty red hot.
He has. I didn't watch a lot of the Scottish Open, and by a lot, any. Not great when you're hosting a podcast about golf, but from what I've heard, it was sort of the first true test we've seen at the Scottish Open for a long time. The wind got up. It was sort of true link style golf, and some of the guys struggled. Patrick, there was a handful of top 10 players, if you will, who really battled. One being world number 1, Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
Do you give him much hope this week?
Well, Morikawa had a pretty tough week here last year, right? And went to Royal St. George's and won. Not that I think Royal St. George's to the Renaissance Club's probably a bit of a better transition than the old course, but I think it's only going to help Scotty Scheffler. He's got a lot of other stuff going for him, so I wouldn't write him off completely. But yeah, if I'm looking at form lines, I'd rather a guy who was sort of towards the pointy end, but not. Although I'm going to spend a lot of money on one guy in particular who did miss the cut this weekend when we get to our betting segment. So yeah, I'm all over the place.
big fan of Scottish Sheffield sticking around and watching, like a fan too. I don't know if you saw that, but keeping his girlfriend or wife next to him as he's watching the rest of his mates play. Anything else from the Scottish Open before we move on? I'm going to spend a lot of time on the Open Championship today, so I want to get right into it. But is there anything else you boys want to touch on before we move on from the Scottish?
Yeah, I've just having watched sort of the first and the third rounds, I've got a guy who I like. We'll talk a little bit later when we're talking about that sort of 100-to-1 odds, but he really impressed me this week or last week of the Scottish Open, as he has done all season, and I'm hoping if he can get the putter going, he'll be right up there this weekend.
Ooh, intriguing. Very intriguing. Stay tuned, listeners. Just quickly, it was kind of under the radar, but Kiwi legend and probably the hottest man in New Zealand in terms of golf, Stephen Alker.
Brian Fox is playing pretty decent golf.
Yeah, he hasn't won a major in the last couple of weeks. But Alker just missed out on a second consecutive major. I think it was last week. Finished T3 behind Jerry Kelly. Luke, I'll throw to you here. Have you had anything to do with Alker, or any discussions with Alker in his sort of last 6 months of red hot golf?
Yeah, I've spoken to him a couple of times. Spoke to him at the end of last year when his run sort of towards the end of 2021 started, started getting top tens and runner-ups, and I think he got a win to finish the year last year. And I've spoken to him once this season as well. He's just he's genuinely just loving his time, on the over 50s tour, which is what I see people online talking about it, but like it is the over 50s, but it's the who's who of golf, that are older than 49. Like it's not as though he's going out there and beating, me and you. He's beating, the Steve Strickers and the Ernie guys. And there's a guy who, for the best part of 2 decades, was battling on, the Japanese tour, played a few Charles Tour events here in New Zealand. It's so good to see him now just dominating and really enjoying and winning lots of money for him and his family.
I'm happy you've put me in the echelon of the same Ernie Owls and Stephen Alker. Thank you for that. He has that's his 7th top 3 finish in his last 8 starts, Patrick.
Jeez, that's
pretty good golf.
Consistency.
It is. All right. We're going to have a quick look back at the US Open results before we move on, because as I say, there's a lot to get through for the Open here. So, excuse me.
I'll start you off. I was over.
Yeah, Patrick lost a couple of $100. Not great. Sorry, I've left my mouse on my desk, and this little trackpad's not great. Paul Moate made $700 on the US Open. He had 20 on Matt Fitzpatrick at 25s to win, and 30 on Matt Fitzpatrick top 5 at 5s, 40 on Matt Fitzpatrick Group B winner at 4s. So all on Matty Fitz there for Paul.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad. And I think I was up too. I was up $205. What did I have? 20 on Rory top 5 at 325, 10 on Matty Fitz at 25s to win, and 10 on Matty Fitz top 5 at 5s.
Shout out to Matty Fitz.
Yeah, he's keeping the boys afloat. That was 4 weeks ago. Now we move on to the Open. As we have done this year with the Open, the major championships. I'm going to start with some trends that I've dug up. That's what I throw to you boys, and I want you boys to have a think about these trends as you look down your page of players that we're going to talk about. And I hope that they've ticked a few boxes here. So 9 of the last 9 Open Championship winners were inside the top 40 in the world rankings. 9 of the last 9 were inside the top 25 in strokes gained tee to green heading into the tournament. 9 of 9 had won a full field cut event in 2 years prior to the Open. And 7 of 9 had won a tournament earlier that season. So you could probably rule out Brandon Grace from the tour there. Although he did win in Puerto Rico a couple of years ago, didn't he? Might just... Anyway. 9 of 9 made the cut in their final start before the tournament. 9 of 9 had a top 10 in a full field cut event in the 5 tournaments before winning the Open Championship, and 8 of 9 had a top 5 in at least one of their last 5 events. 8 of 9 had a top 10 at the previous Open before winning. 8 of 9 made the cut in their last major championship. 8 of 9 were ranked inside the top 30 in strokes gained approach heading into the tournament. 8 of 9 were ranked inside the top 80 strokes gained around the green. I think we're reaching a little bit there. And 7 of the last 9 winners played the week prior. Do we tick a few boxes, boys?
I'm happy to stick with my selections.
Luke, any late changes?
Certainly ticked a lot of boxes for one of them.
There we go. That's what we like to hear. Right. As we always do too, I'm going to open up the outright market here. I'm going to go down the list a little bit, and I'm going to throw to each of you, and I want you to give me a reason for why these players can or cannot win this week. Luke, I'll start with you. Top of the market, $11, Rory McIlroy.
Sheesh, that's short, isn't it? Can win, yes. He's won major championships before. I think his only Open at St Andrews was 2010 when he was top 5 or something. So he's obviously got some sort of form at St Andrews, but his major drought, 8 years, I think, since his last major win, and 11, that's far too short for me. Can he win? Probably. Do I think he will? No.
Okay. Anything to add on Rory there, Patrick?
You know my Rory rule for majors. I'm just going to enjoy it when it happens. Not investing any money. Yeah.
We might hear a little bit more about Rory later on. Patrick, Xander Schauffele, the hottest man in the world in golf.
And yeah, he certainly can win. He's been there. It was close to winning at Carnoustie a couple of years ago, which is probably pretty good as far as open road venues. It's about as close to St Andrews as he's going to get. So he's going to be there or thereabout. Well, he certainly can win, but not for me. There are others I prefer.
Jordan Spieth, $16. Luke.
Absolutely, he can win. Yeah, I'm not a big Spieth fan, but I'm pretty hot on him this week. Everything seems to be aligned for him. Yeah, I'll talk more about him a little bit later, but absolutely he can win.
You love Jordan?
Well, yeah, he's a St Andrews golfer, right? That's one of the big things for me looking at St Andrews. You're going to need guys who are a bit creative and should we say dome golfers. I think he fits right into that category. And yeah, he was almost made the playoff there in 2015. Yeah, certainly wouldn't shock me to see him lifting the claret jug on Monday morning.
In the last 6 months versus the field, Jordan Spieth is ranked 103rd strokes gained putting. That is a big, big concern for me.
Some might say he's due.
Yep. Who's next? John Rahm, $17, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, he's another one. He's capable of being as good as anyone on his day. There are some reasons, if you look at the stats, why he's a good fit for this. Others why maybe not. So I'll be swerving him, but yeah.
Yep. Scotty Scheffler, Luke, world number 1 at $17 also.
I mean, even when he doesn't win, you think he's gonna. Like he's been there or thereabouts pretty much all season. He's already won multiple times, already won a major. Just his lack of links experience for me. I think he was top 10 last year, but I certainly wouldn't have any confidence in terms of him on a links course, but he is the best golfer in the world and he's won the most this year.
If you are looking at Scotty Scheffler, Might be worth noting that he didn't even know where St Andrews was. He thought it was in Ireland prior to this week. So just a heads up there. Matthew Fitzpatrick at $19.
Well, I said he couldn't win last major, so he's another. I think he's got great form at the Dunhill, right? Links golfer, obviously can be there or thereabouts in a major field. I wouldn't talk anyone out of backing him. I'm certainly not going to say he's the biggest unders in the field like I was before Brookline. So
I might be able to talk you into why you'll back him later on. Luke, Justin Thomas, $21.
Yeah. I think in terms of negatives, I think this has definitely been his weakest or his worst major of the four links golf, or especially the Open. But he's already won a major this year. He hits those beautiful low bullets, which is perfect around St Andrews. Can get the putter red hot. Can he win? Absolutely, he can win. But he just needs to sort of turn around what's been his worst major. I mean, in a pretty good career, to be fair.
Shane Lowry, Patrick.
Oh, absolutely can win.
Yeah,
loves
like that.
links golf, former Open winner. Yeah, he was there or thereabouts at the Dunhill last year, I believe. There's absolutely no reason he can't be right up the top.
Agree.
Yeah. Maybe another big weekend for Ireland coming up.
Oh. Anything to add on Lowry there, Luke?
I don't think he can win.
Oh. What about Cameron Smith? $23.
Not for me. Beautiful golfer, can play really, really well, but just hasn't really found. Apart from that one, I think he did okay a few years back, or maybe top 25 is his best finish in his 3 starts. I'll talk more around him in terms of the betting later on. I've got quite a good option that doesn't include him, but does include him. But I don't think he can win this week.
Sick. Patrick Cantlay, I can't believe Patrick Cantlay continues to be under $30 every single week.
Should be 3 times that price.
At least. We'll move on. I'll throw to Will Zalatoris for you.
Yeah, I mean, if he just keep putting his face off in majors, that's the question, right? I think in a lot of ways he's a great setup for St Andrews because he could just absolutely attack these flags. It's obviously a course. It doesn't look like the wind's going to blow heaps, so it's very gettable, but I just don't know how sustainable this putting in majors is. So I'm going to, I've backed him the last 2 majors with my own personal money. I don't know if I'll do it again after falling off the couch.
Being burned.
Putt on 18 missed, yeah.
Literally burned with him. Colin Morikawa, $29, Luke, the defending champion.
Back to back. Probably not. Certainly has the game for it, but he's got that little fade that he can't really hit at the moment. He's hitting little draws, which I don't know. Wide fairways probably helps, but I don't think his game's where he wants it at the moment, even though he did finish tied for 5th to the US Open. I don't think he wins this week.
Wish I had a little draw, which I knew where it was going. Instead of a big snap hook. Tommy Fleetwood. Played all right last week.
Yeah, I think he's just a bit short, right? He's a good golfer. He's certainly capable of winning, but the other guys around this price, so falls into that best bet category for us the way we do it, and not for me compared to the others around here.
Yep. And I'll go one more to you, Luke. I'm jumping a few players here, but Ryan Fox.
Ryan Fox, can he win the Open? Probably not. If he's going to perform in any of the 4 majors, I think this is the one that he can perform the best at. It's where he's had his best finishes. It's where links golf, he plays most of his golf over there in Europe. Can he win? Probably not, but he can certainly give it a bit of a shake-up this week.
Nice. All right, we'll leave it there. I'm just looking. The Cat, we're going to go to the Cat next. And when I was looking at the odds yesterday, he was in at around $46. Then he went out to 56. Now he's out to 67.
He was all right at the JP Magnus Pro, wasn't he? No,
I'm here for the Cat. Yeah. I'm all here for the Cat. Can he win?
Oh, I mean, he can.
No one's going to write him off, are they?
Yeah. In terms of
do you think he will win? No.
I think he's it wouldn't completely shock me, compared to Augusta or Southern Hills. But I think it'll take a lot. But I mean, he obviously loves the place, and it's a much easier walk than Augusta, and he's got all the shots in his bag. So in terms of like the course knowledge and everything, he's got more than anyone else here, right?
So this is his favourite course. Luke, do you think the Cat can win?
Oh, if he can walk, he can win. This is one of those courses where, like Augusta, when he's sitting lying in bed recovering and going through all his recovery, having his 3 ice baths a day, he can sit in his mind and play the golf course in his mind because he's played there so much. He knows the shots. He's won there twice. But yeah, I mean, would it shock me if he won? Absolutely not. There's two people I don't bet against in sport, and that's Tiger Woods and Tom Brady. So if he can walk, he can win, and I truly do believe that.
I was thinking about it last night before I went to bed because I often think about Tiger before I go to sleep.
Naturally.
Yeah, I mean, do you even like golf if you don't? And I keep going back to the US Open. He's playing on one leg, and if he come the final day, it'll be Sunday evening, overnight our time. If he's in contention, he is a red hot chance. We've seen it time and time again from the Cat. He's one of those guys that can dig deep and seemingly block out the pain. Like you say, this is a much easier walk than Augusta, and I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I think Sunday's the one day we might get a bit of win, right? I think
his leg does seem to be better. Like he's already played 40 holes this week. We're recording this on Tuesday afternoon our time. He's been in St Andrews for a while. He played 4 holes today. He was 2 under. That's a great start.
That's enough for me. I actually got on. I was just telling Patrick earlier, Luke. I think after this first or second round of the Masters, I looked forward to the Open, and I got him at 51s. So I'm pretty happy with that. But given now he's 67s, I'm probably going to have to double down and just ride the wave. I was just going to ask a question about Tiger, and it has escaped me. Oh no, that's it. You must have seen the video doing the rounds, boys, of him and Rory on the putting green. Have you seen this? When he's just smashing balls at Rory's feet, like he just looked like he's in his element. He's having fun. He's out chipping with Justin Thomas at 10:30 at night. Like
the video of him and Ram talking about the different fades they're playing as well over in Ireland. Yeah, he's obviously loves being around all this sort of stuff, and I think we're back in his element. Did
you see the video with him and Justin Thomas when he says, are you coming to the Champions event tonight? And he's like, oh no, that's right, you haven't won one of these.
Yeah, I do like that. And to me, that's it. That says he's in a good spot. He's pretty happy, and he's look out, $67. That's give me all of that. Give me all of that. Kiwis in the field. A couple of Kiwis in the field, unless I've missed more. Ryan Fox and Ben Campbell. I thought Dan Hillier qualified for this, but through my research, I cannot find him anywhere. Luke, you may be able to shed some light on that.
Yeah, I thought we had 3 as well.
He's unless he's an alternate, or I don't know, but I was sure Dan Hillier qualified for this. Maybe that was last year.
Last year, he definitely played last year. Yeah, he missed the cut last year. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Now, Foxy, Luke, you speak to him quite a bit for work. Have you spoken to him in the last couple of weeks leading up to this?
Spoke to him before the Scottish, so about a week ago. Obviously, Scottish Open was his first sort of not bad result, but it wasn't his best result for what he's been having. He's been by far his best season on tour. I think a sneaky, if internationals keep joining the Live Golf, I think he's a sneaky to be in the President's Cup this year. He's playing really good golf. As I say, the links style courses suit him. Big open fairways, he can smash them down there if he can get his putter going. Who knows? Really exciting tournament for him, and a really exciting spot in his career. The Lives golf has almost been good for him, and will pay off in a couple of years, hopefully, with this new thing that the PGA Tour are doing, giving DP World Tour, more tour cards. Hopefully he benefits from that. So I think he's in a really, really good spot, and this is an exciting week for him.
Yeah, I was looking today. He's essentially leading the DP World Tour in terms of the rankings. You've got, I think Zalatoris, Rory, and Morikawa maybe ahead of him.
Yeah,
but those guys are PGA Tour players, right? He is, of the DP World Tour players, he is number one. He's fourth in the rankings. Like, he is having a hell of a year. I was lucky enough to speak to him it was from a couple of months ago now, actually, and it was before he'd qualified for the Open, and he said, this is the one he really wanted the most at the moment, and he loves St Andrews. He loves links golf, and really, really wanted this one so badly. So stoked to see him get it.
Just another point on him. Now top 50 in the world, opens up the players, and in particular the Masters. You're top 50 in the world, you get to play in the Masters. He hasn't played in that yet, so if he can stay there to the end of the year, then he's going to have a hell of a 2023.
Yeah, definitely. And as you say, I think it's 23-24 season where he has an opportunity to get a PGA Tour card. So a lot there for Foxy, and another good result this week will, shore up that space in the top 10 in the rankings there too. What about Ben Campbell? Have you had much to do with him?
Yeah, I used to play with him way back when he was an amateur. I think he was runner-up in the Vic Open to qualify for this. He's one of those players who can just light up a golf course, 8-9 under pretty easily. I don't know how he'll go if it gets windy. I think Pat said it was supposed to get windy on Sunday, so if he's around for that, he'll experience it. But it'll be an awesome occasion for him, and awesome for New Zealand to have. We've always had Danny has been flying the flag. Foxy's obviously there now, and we've got Hillier and Denzel Idemir sort of in and around that mix as well. But to have Ben Campbell's and other players coming through, it's just awesome for New Zealand golf.
Agree. Do you give Ben Campbell a chance this week, Patrick? You can be honest.
I'll have a little speculator on the thousands.
Is he out to thousands now?
Yeah.
Really? Holy. I'm sure he was 370s yesterday when I was looking. So if you got on yesterday, apologies, folks. You have to get on again. Wow. All right. Big call time. Luke, this is where we essentially make a big call. Doesn't need to be betting related, but if you can tie it to betting, it's great for the punters. I haven't noted mine down here, so I'm going to throw to Patrick first for his big call.
He also hasn't noted his down. I was too busy getting my 26-bet staking plan sorted. But so we've been talking about him plenty already. It's all about the big cat this week. I'm going to say there's going to be a time, some stage throughout this tournament, where he gets inside $5 in live betting. He's going to go as a shot.
I like that.
It's going to be Sunday Arvo as well.
Yeah.
Luke, your big call.
Well, as I sit here, before I say my big call, Xander's just gone out of tech from $14 to $15, which may change my staking plan. He's gone out another $1, so we're closer to that 20 where I'll take him. My big call is I think a live golfer will contend and go close. There's been so much talk about live golfers and up against PGA and everything, and for all the drama that they've caused, they haven't really done much outside of the live tour, whether that's DJ or Brooks or Louis, whoever it is. I think a live golfer will go close this week.
I like it. I'm scrambling here.
I've got to live golfer down as my best bet of the staking plan. So I think it's crossed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real sort of.
Are his initials D and J?
Sure are.
I'm going to go cat related too, just because that's just my MO. And T Woods top 10 finish, 750. Not out of this world in terms of a big call, but I think for what he's been through, and if he's in the top 10, he's probably trading at $5 at one point. So yeah, I apologize, folks. It's not as prepared as I usually am. Rightio. I had a dig up had a look at some betting, some early bets. As Luke said, this is Tuesday afternoon. 2 $1,000 bets on Rory McIlroy at $10. He's now gone out to 11s, I think. There is a single $700 bet on Shane Lowry to win. 2 $500 bets on Xander at 15s. A $500 bet on John Rahm at 13s, who is now at 17s. That's unfortunate. Ryan Fox in the outright winner market. Ryan Fox is the best backed, and in terms of bet count, there's more than 10% of the total bets in that market are sitting with Ryan Fox. There is a huge liability with him at the moment, and I can only imagine it's going to get bigger as we get closer to the week. The money, though, is most money on Rory, and then Foxy second, closely followed by Cam Smith, Xander, and Matty Fitzpatrick.
No big cat.
No big cat. And the best backed power play so far, which I hate. JT top 5, Cam Smith top 10, Tommy Fleetwood top 20.
Wow.
Don't mind 2/3 of that.
Yeah. None of those guys jumped off the page for me this week. All right. Patrick, I'll throw to you here. What are you looking for this week at the Open Championship?
Someone who knows their way around a links golf course. That's, I think, it's going to be key, right? Looking at all the stats and past winners, you want to have good finishes in an Open Championship, good finishes in the Dunhill or the desert sort of series around the Middle East where there's some windy, exposed courses. In terms of stats, everything, obviously there's 14 par 4s at St Andrews, more than your standard course. So I've looked at par 4 scoring, and in particular, par 4 scoring on 350 to 400 yard par 4s. That's 7 of the 14. So obviously some very gettable par 4s there. So if you can go low, that's going to go a long way. Driving distance seems to be a big key. Tiger led the field in driving distance in 2005. Louis was 4th in 2010, so that helps. Putting average, obviously the big greens are going to come into play as well. So those are my, and then you need to be in some good form as well. It seems like some top 10s in your last 5 starts definitely helps a lot. So be looking at that too.
Yeah, nice. Luke, anything to add to Patrick's set there?
Yeah, it's hard when you come into this tournament because obviously I agree with, in the desert and windy courses and that sort of thing. It's when you want to have a guy who's so good at putting, you want to have a guy who has a good week putting. But when you look at the stats, obviously all the courses they play are in America and they're not these rock hard links sort of style courses. So there is an element of being a good putter, but there also is an element of just having a good week with the putter. And it's just a matter of finding who that guy is. Proximity to the hole is a big one for me, because if you can continue to hit it close, you should be able to knock a few in. And just greens, just percentage of greens. This is a course where you need to be patient. If you can just keep hitting greens, the chances continue to come. So, yeah, straight off the tee, straight into the green, and be able to putt well.
Basically, just describe the cat in his prime. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you guys are saying. The only one I would add, Masters form shapes up as a good correlation here. Not something you would probably think about when you think of St Andrews.
Cam Smith.
Sorry?
Cam Smith.
Yeah. Tiger Woods.
And I do think there is just that like sort of St Andrews element, right? You need guys who aren't going to get overwhelmed by the course because there are going to be bounces that don't go your way. You're going to end up in a bunker that you forgot about or you didn't see, and that sort of stuff.
There's an aspect too, like all the Open every year is obviously it's played on a links golf course. It's always a different links golf course, but links golf is very similar wherever you play. So I think, as you both said, the links specialists will come to the top here. I think I saw on Twitter, I don't know if it's Twitter or if it was on another podcast or something, but someone said they were in St Andrews or getting an Uber to St Andrews, and the Uber driver was that pumped. He was saying when he normally plays, he hits at about 240 yards, but it's that baked out at the moment. His drive is going about 310 yards. So these guys, professionals, are going to have to really dial it back, hit these little squirty, punchy shots in that, we don't normally see. So, even if the wind doesn't get up, I imagine there's still going to be a fair amount of excitement around the place.
Tiger drove 18 the other day, didn't he? Made eagle.
Oh, stop. Cool. That leads us into our selections. Really? We'll start with our guest. Luke, give us your best bet and a reason why.
It's Jordan Spieth for me. As I say, he's not a guy I always go to, but he's trending. He's played some good golf. All those boxes, all those things you look for when you're reading out those, 9 of 9 in the top 40, top 25 strokes gains. I was just ticking boxes as you were going. He fits all of those. Loves St Andrews. He's top 20 in his last 4 opens. I think 4 top 10s and 8 starts at the Open. Never missed a cut there. Tied for 4th in 2015. He's had a win this season. A runner-up. Yeah, I would be shocked if Spieth isn't in the top sort of 10 this week.
They have a top 10 at the Scottish last week too.
Yeah.
Which is
when he didn't really seem to have his best stuff either. There was a lot of that seemed like a real tune-up week, which he
just after I gave him smack about his putting, he was positive strokes gained putting. Sorry, give me a second.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like when Spieth was, I guess, in his prime at his best, everything inside 10 feet, you knew he was going to hold. Even those big 20 to 40 footers most of the time looked like they were going to roll in. And for him, if he can be, I think 3/4 at his best of where he was, I think he'll contend this week.
Well, yeah. So he was 46 strokes gained putting last week, which was his worst statistical set for the week, and he still finished top T10. So that is a little bit alarming.
And like Luke said, in terms of being a good putter versus capable of having a good week with a putter, he's certainly a guy who can get red hot with a flat stick. So.
Yeah. Nice. Jordan Spieth, what's he at? $16 at the moment, third favourite. Patrick.
Well, you know who my best bet is.
DJ.
Unfortunately, someone who's departed the PGA Tour shores, but back in the field this week. We talked about links, form, and I think experience is a key here as well. 9 of the last 14 winners of this tournament have been 35 or older. You look at the top of the market, a lot of these guys all fit into that sort of young gun category where they maybe haven't got the same sort of link experience. JT and Cam were 2 guys who profile awesomely, like statistics-wise and everything like that, but I just can't make them my best bet with their lack of Open Championship form on the board. So whereas DJ was T8 last time the Open came to St Andrews, and he's got 3 other top 10s in the Open. He's 7th for birdies or better on par 4s and first in scoring on par 4s, 350 to 400, which we talked about. I think he's a guy who can get red hot and just put the ball right by the hole. I don't think St Andrews is not going to overwhelm him. He's going to keep a calm head and just sort of do what he needs to do. Augusta form, obviously, he led after round 2 in 2015, had a shocking weekend, but he is capable of getting high. And if the wind doesn't blow and he can the scores are pretty low, he's certainly capable of going low. So I think at $31, sort of probably one of the biggest prices of this top tier. He's definitely worth a bet there.
And coming in on the back of a red hot team win
I don't know
from Portland.
The strokes game. What stupid name has this team got there? But yeah,
the Fireballs. It's the only one I can remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tough. Nice. DJ. Yeah, I think of the live golfers, he's the most likely, and he's the one that typical DJ doesn't really give a toss what anyone thinks, and the media's pretty much steered clear of him in terms of.
Well, because he hasn't been himself in circles trying to justify doing what he's doing.
I'm very torn here. My sheet here looks like a copy and paste job from the US Open. And I'm going to go top of the market. Rory McIlroy at $11. Don't do that, Luke. Don't shake your head at me like that. He is the best golfer in the field over the last 6 months when it comes to strokes gained data. Trending in the right direction. Third strokes gained tee to green, third off the tee, 17th in approach, and 9th around the greens, 23rd in putting. He's 5th on tour in driving distance, 31st in putting average, 10th in par 4 scoring. Form line dating back to the Masters, very nice. 2, 5th, sorry, 2nd, 5th, 8th, T18, 1st, T5, T19. He didn't play last week, which is of those sort of 10 trends, is I think the only one he misses.
I think he's pretty familiar with links golf, though.
I think so too. As you said, in 2010, he was T3 here. Didn't play in 2015 because he hurt his leg playing indoor football or something.
Yeah, get him away from the soccer ball this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm if you're happy to miss Rory's win, I'm all in on Rory's win. Like, I want to be there when it happens.
I'll be there. I'll still be happy about it. I just
$11 is short, but I mean, I like winning money, so I'm happy to take. I'll probably take him if he's $5, to be honest. So Rory McIlroy, I do really like Matty Fitzpatrick as well in this section of below $30 odds, particularly after that US Open win. So, and he had a great week last week. First round back, or first tournament back after the US Open for T6. So, but my best bet, Rory McIlroy, $11. Luke, your mid-tier ranges from $30 to $100.
Yeah, no one really stood out. I thought about Max Homa for a while, who's been playing okay, but I went with Louis. When we talk about St Andrews, I guess you can't look past him. Maybe this is my live golf thing that I've been thinking about, but obviously he won it in 2010 and lost in the playoff to Zach Johnson in 2015. He absolutely loves it. He's flying under the radar, which he loves in terms of his presence. Really just comes in and plays golf and takes money now. But yeah, I think he'll go okay. I don't know if he's going to win, but at $41, I'm certainly going to have a little look.
Patrick?
Gone on another veteran. Louis is in my staking plan, but not my official mid-tier pick. Justin Rose at $61.
Oh.
You got to be on the odds here. T6 at St Andrews in 2015 in the Open. He's got a T4 at the Canadian Open with obviously the big last round, and T13 at the PJ amongst his last 5 starts. Scores well on par 4s, 12th for birdies or better. 11th putting average, 18th strokes gained putting onto this season. Just, I think, he's another guy who's going to be very capable of being there or thereabouts, playing some good golf and knows his way around a links course. So at $61, it's a very nice price for a former major winner.
I'm torn again here. I've got Max written down here. I've also got Foxy. And then I've got one other that sits into the mid-tier category, and I was really hoping I'll just double check before I say his name out loud. No, he's $4 shy.
A couple of that $80, $90 range I was hoping might get a bump.
And I'm going to go with
As we speak, Louis now into $36.
Ooh.
This podcast is not recorded live, or it's not going out anywhere live, so someone's obviously my mid-tier, I will go with Adam Scott at $96. I think I'm just looking up at the TV here, even channeling Adam Scott with his beige top on today. I think this is a good sign. I was very high on Scotty at the start of the season when he made his sort of comeback in the desert, and back-to-back top 10s there. He's playing some pretty good golf. He was T14 last time out at the US Open. We know he's sort of one of those guys who picks and chooses where he plays now, and he's not going to set himself up for failure. He on tour he ranks 38th strokes gained putting, 34th putting average, 33rd strokes gained approach, 17th in driving distance, and 49th in par 4 scoring. He was T27 here in 2010, T10 in 2015. Obviously won the Masters. can feature at $96. We'll be having a wee look at Adam Scott.
Looks like a long shot, baby.
Luke, you're roughie. 101 or $100 or more.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on this guy. His name's Jordan Smith.
Hit a hole in one last week.
He did. He leads the European or the DP World Tour in greens hit percentage. He's 20th in distance and 20th in accuracy. He's having a great year. I think 6 top 12s, a couple of runner-up finishes. Last week he really impressed me, which was the, I guess, nail on the head or the final nail in the coffin for me to have some money on him. 3 straight rounds in the 60s at the Scottish Open before a 74 in the last round. I think he finished tied for 24th in the end. But this is a guy he's been trending really, really well this year. Can hit it a long way and hits it straight, and obviously hits greens. He's leading the second best tour in the world for greens hit percentage, and he's at $111. So pretty keen on that.
Nice. Let's look at his stats last week. Were pretty good. 20th tee to green, 14th off the tee, 29th in approach, and the mid-40s for putting and around the green. So not bad. Patrick?
Yeah, I not as keen on my roughie. There was a few guys I looked at, and none of them I could really fall in love with. But I'm going with another guy at 111s. Real sort of just course specialist vibe here. Danny Willett won the Alfred Dunhill last year on obviously 2 of the 4 rounds are on this course. He's won a major. We all know about that. Previous
Masters form.
Yeah.
Is there any water for Jordan to hit it into this year?
There is what's at the North Sea, just a few yards away. But he's won the Dubai Desert Classic and the DP World Tour Championship as well. I was T6 at the Open in 2016 as well at St Andrews, so he's got I think he's missed 4 of his last 5 cuts, so not playing great golf, but if he can turn it on anywhere, I think St Andrews is the place. You know, he's got that major championship pedigree. He's maybe won't get overawed by like a few of these other guys could. So yeah, I'll have a throw at the stumps.
Nice. Not my option, but I think you should have a look at Corey Connors at $101. Statistically, he's ranked as the 18th best golfer in the field over the last 6 months. So he profiles pretty well here, but I'm going to go real rough. Well, a lot more rough.
Campbell.
Not that rough. wind it back a little bit. Chris Kirk at $276. What are we against the field in the last 6 months? He is the 19th ranked 19th strokes gained tee to green, 22nd off the tee, 51st approach and first around the greens. Form's been a little bit up and down, but he was T5 at the Arnold Palmer, T5 at the PGA, and T7 at the Canadian. He played last week, finished second last. That's an issue. First 2 rounds he was good, and then the second 2 rounds he was bad. But at $276, definitely worth a look. The top 40s, top 30s, if nothing else. So Chris Kirk, $276. All right, before we move on to spending some cash and placing some bets, is there anyone else you guys want to shout out, give to the punters to just sort of go and have a wee nosy at?
Well, I mentioned there was a couple of guys in that sort of high double figures range. I was hoping I could have snuck into my roughies, but Mark Leishman's the big one that jumps out. Obviously, there's the course form there.
Yep.
Augusta follows over. He's got a game for St Andrews, so he's in my staking plan. We'll get to him soon, but that was probably he was the last man out of my mid tiers before Rosie.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of JT either at 21s, or I think 22 he's at. He's certainly in some form, and if he can roll the rock well, he'll be there or thereabouts as well.
So I like JT if there's no wind.
Yeah, JT is in my staking plan as well. Like you're talking.
Yeah, but who isn't in your staking plan at the moment?
It's a good question. Corey Connor's not, but yeah.
Tom Lee.
No, there's a few here, but yeah, talk about a guy who can stuff it right next to some pins, and I think he's on record as saying he loves St Andrews. So I think even though he doesn't have the runs under his belt there, he's going to be very familiar with the course. Cam Smith is another one. They were the other 2 that I wanted to make a best bet. Cam doesn't have the Open Championship pedigree, but just everything about his game suggests
Australians profile well in links courses.
I mean, he could just have think back to the players. He might have 21 putts in one round or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
And he's got a Kiwi caddy, so we can root for him.
That's
Yeah, and a sick haircut. I know you listen to No Laying Up podcast. Luke, do you listen to No Laying
Not
Up?
all the time, every now and then, yeah.
They were there was an ode to St. Andrews, about a 45-minute episode around St. Andrews and different people talking about it and the old course there, and just talking about Justin Thomas earlier. He was saying the first time he went to St. Andrews, it was a practice tournament before, I think it was his first professional start was at the Alfred Dunhill Links. And he was practicing, and he teed up in the first hole. He went driver into the wind and then hit a 6-iron and stuffed it for eagle. And he thought, wow, this is pretty easy. So good memories for JT. Right, let's get to the staking plan. We've got $200 each to spend this week. And Luke, we will throw to you first. How are you betting your $200 this week?
I'm going to go from bottom to the top. $10 on Jordan Smith, who I've spoken about before, at $111. $10 on Louis, because he can win. He has won there. $20 on Jordan Smith top 10 at 10s. So I'm pretty doubling up on Jordan Smith here. And this was an option I found really, really interesting, and one I think is a good bet. If Cam Smith doesn't have the week people think he is Ryan Fox to be the best rest of the world player, meaning eliminating Americans and Europeans. $20 on him to be the best rest of the world player, which is paying $14, which I think is really good value for someone who plays, week in, week out at these golf courses. 20 on JT, 30 on DJ, and then 30 on Spieth to be the top American golfer, paying $10, and then $60 on Jordan Spieth to win the tournament.
Holy, all in Jordan Spieth. I like that. It's some real flair. Now, Patrick, just a forewarning, punters. Get a pen and paper.
Yeah, might have to cut this out and be like
Maybe
a bonus little episode or something.
Get the hand next to the pause button just in case, because Patrick's got about 400 bets to get through here. So, Patrick, over to you.
I'll try and keep it as simple as possible. I'm backing 6 guys to win, 10 each on JT, Cam Smith, and DJ, 5 on Justin Rose, 3 on Mark Leishman, and $1 on Danny Willett. 7 top 5 bets each to win just over $100. JT, Cam Smith, Tony Finau at $8.50, DJ $9, Louis at 10s, Rose at 12s, and Mark Leishman at 23. Then I will have $8 each on Mark Leishman, Danny Willett, and Wyndham Clark top 10. Sung Jae top 10, $10 at 60. What have I got here? $16 at 6.50. $5 on Justin Rose, top European at $23. 3 first-round leader bets, Rory, DJ, and Tony Finau, $7, $5, and $3 respectively. Power play I found here as well. Any 2 of Spieth, JT, and Cam Smith, top 5 at $12, and $9 on that. And then I've got 3 of the Carl Tiley favourites, sort of top 5, top 10, top 20 multis to finish things off. So I'll have $2 on Cam Smith, top 5, Justin Rose, top 10, Leash, top 20 at 245 to 1. I'll have $3 on DJ, top 5, Tony Finau, top 10, Cam Smith, top 20 at 101.25, and $4 on JT, top 5, DJ, top 10, and the great Ryan Fox, top 30 at $81 to finish things off.
Holy.
Really like DJ first round leader. Really like that bet.
Just looking at our spreadsheet here of all our winnings, and just looking how far behind me you are. And obviously we've got to take into consideration the Tom factor.
Yeah,
I know he's listening, and he loves the shout out each week, and he even gave you praise. I was texting him the other day, Patrick, so something along the lines of you're much better than he ever was, which rings true. But for the listeners who care, Patrick's about $1,800 behind me in terms of profits on the cut line. I should say Patrick and Tom.
Cam and JT both finished top 5. I'll just about make that up.
I'm saying
So,
that's what I'm getting to in a roundabout way, is this might be the week where you gobble us up and overtake us. Because, from what I remember, I like what you just said. There's a lot there. Alrighty, my turn. I haven't got as many bets, but I do have a few. I will keep it simple too. So I've got 3 winner plays. 20 on Rory at 11s, 10 on Fitzy at 19s, and 10 on Larry at 21s. Same 3 guys, top 5s. 20 on all of them. Rory at 375, Fitzpatrick at 450, and Larry at 550. 3 top 10 plays. Will Zalatoris, Max Homer, and Ryan Fox. $10 on each at 420, 550, and 650. Top 40 plays. $10 on each. Corey Connors at 250, Adam Scott 270, Chris Kirk at $4. Love this. One of my little little multis here. The Cat top 40 and Louis top 30. $20 on at 568. And a couple of power plays to finish. $10 on both. Any 2 of Matt Fitzpatrick, Will Zalatoris, or Tommy Fleetwood top 5 at $12. And $10 on any 3 of Xander, Lowry, JT, and Rory top 10 at $650. That is my $200.
Not a single dollar on the Cat by himself.
I've got that. I've had that since the Masters of my own account. So look, I don't need to justify my stance on the Cat. The people know. The people know. Look, that's probably us. We've got Patrick. We've got a promotion on the golf this week.
Is that the enhanced golf bonus back?
It is.
Place a pre-tournament outright winner bet through your TAB account on the Open Championship, and if your player doesn't win but finishes top 20, refund up to $50 as a bonus bet.
There you go. Between us, we've got about 2/3 of the field there to choose from. Yeah. Anything to add, lads?
Go the Cat.
Go the Cat.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. It doesn't get much bigger than the Open at St Andrews. It's also the 150th edition, so it's all written in the stars for the big Cat to claw his way up the leaderboard and hobble down 18 and win on Sunday.
5:30 p.m. On Thursday. Our time, I think it kicks off. Tough scenes for my kids. There'll be no cartoons this week. It's going to be all golf. All golf all night. Luke, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your time this afternoon, mate. And we will no doubt have to get you back to talk some more golf.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And hopefully one of the magnitude of tips or bets I'll put down can come through for the listeners.
Exactly. Patrick, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure to come on and talk some golf, Carl. Thanks for having me.
To Paul, if you're out there, if you're listening, hope you haven't had too many 3-putts today, mate. And hopefully we'll see you back next week. And to all of you punters, thank you for joining us again on the cut line. Go well. Good luck on the punt. And we will see you next time. Yes.